And now we'll hear from Tim Schofield.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you for hosting. This is great. Thank you, gentlemen. I just want to tell you a little bit more about who I am and where I come from, because I think it really helps explain why I'm here and what value and perspective I think I could add to the state Senate. As I mentioned, I'm the youngest of 8 children, working class family. You know, we were not starving, but we were definitely struggling. And my life took a very different path than I expected, and frankly, the one that was laid out for me. As I mentioned, nobody in my family had gone to college before, and I didn't expect to go either. I mean, I was in the senior year of my high school, and I was working at the grocery store, and I had worked there through high school. And you know, my parents were Depression era, so my mom just wanted me to get a good job, and that was the focus. And you know, people don't understand, if you don't grow up in a household where somebody has gone that path before, you know, what's a FAFSA, what's a college applicant? People don't know. My family didn't know how to help me with that, pardon me. And you know, frankly, being the last of 8 Schofields coming through the high school, the teachers and the guidance counselors weren't saying, how do we get Tim to college? They were saying, how do we get Tim a good job? And I frankly landed one. I mean, I got an offer at the grocery store, and you know, for a kid with a high school diploma, even today, the grocery store can provide a good career. It's a good salary, health care, pension. It used to be. I don't know if that's probably not true anymore, but that was the path for me. And senior year, my friends started to get letters from colleges. And I started thinking, well, geez, I would like to go to college too. And there was a recruiter on campus, an Army recruiter, and he approached me and told me about the GI Bill and told me about that option. And I thought, but I'm a raging liberal. I can't join the military. But I did at 17, and my family and friends were shocked, and I was shocked. But I went off at 17, and it changed my life. Not just the GI Bill, but it gave me a new perspective on the world. And I did my time. I was at Fort Benning. I was a cook in the Army, which I will tell you is the best job in the Army. Because I'm serious, when you're out in the woods, the things you want are heat and food. And I controlled both of those things. When I was in Saudi Arabia, I controlled the ice. So for me, I did the military, and I got out and I started college, and I thought, okay, I'm on my path now. But I was paying my way through, and I had Stafford loans, and I had Pell Grants, and I had help, and I was working full time. I was putting myself through. And this recruiter for the reserves kept calling me and saying, you should join the reserves, you should join the reserves. And I kept saying, no, I'm going to college, I'm going to college. And she called up one day and she said, we'll give you $4,000 if you sign up for the reserves. $4,000 was $1 million, okay? It's still a lot of money. It certainly was in 1990. And I was paying my way through. So I joined the reserves thinking, it's the reserves, what could possibly happen? 10 months later, I'm getting on a plane to Saudi Arabia going, I can't believe I'm getting on a plane to Saudi Arabia. But you know what? I served in the first Gulf War, and it changed my life even more profoundly. Because when you go to a place like Saudi Arabia and you see the lack of freedoms and the lack of opportunity, and when you serve in a war, you have a patriotism and a passion for this country. And I swore that when I came back that I would serve in some capacity throughout my life. I thought I might run for office, but that was not. You know, I went and worked on Capitol Hill for a couple of years. I worked for a member of Congress for a couple of years. He lost in '94, and I lost my job. But I joke it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I'd still be making $17,000 a year, because it's intoxicating to feel like you're making a difference in people's lives. So when I finished that, I went to BC Law School, and I came back to Massachusetts, and I got involved. And I served as an advisor to Warren Tolman when he ran for governor in 2002. I served as treasurer for Sam Yoon when he became the first Asian American to ever serve on the Boston City Council. I served on the Gay and Lesbian Bar Association during the fight for marriage equality. I currently serve on the board of Planned Parenthood Advocacy Fund. I'm trying to do my part. I serve in my community, and I like to think I'm adding value. But I've been so frustrated by what's going on in the last few years that when this opportunity presented itself, I thought, you know, I like to think I'm doing my part from the outside. I'm going to see if I can do my part from the inside. And I want to go there and do the things we talked about tonight. I want to talk about revenue. I want to talk about investing. I want to fight for these things. I'm not naive enough to think I'm going to get there on day one and we're going to, you know, pass this bill that I support, which is called an Act to Invest in Our Communities, which would raise the income tax rate, but it would provide exemption for people who make below $70,000 a year. It's designed to try to raise some revenue from those at the top. It also is designed, it increases taxes on folks who earn a living from investments, okay, the capital gains and interest. We have to be honest. If we want to spend on the things we care about, if we want to spend on special education, we want to fix those bridges, we have to be honest about what that means. And the other part for me, it's not just, I talk about the revenue law because I think it is the #1 issue we're facing at the moment, but it's about a respect and appreciation for the role of government. You know, it's a little dramatic to say that government changed my life because I sort of helped, but boy, they gave me a hand up. You know, if I didn't have the GI Bill and Pell Grants and Stafford loans, I would not be where I am today. And I look at the young person today, and I'm afraid that that path doesn't exist. And I'm here because I'm going to defend that path for the working kid that's coming up. And I hope I can earn your vote on December 13th. Thank you.
Thank you.